Bhadman's wife has repeatedly refused him intimacy, always claiming she's not in the right mood or ready for such pleasures. A few months into their marriage, his wife became so consumed with work that she no longer had time to spend with her husband or care for him. Whenever her husband persists in trying to get her in the mood, she angrily walks away, leaving him on the bed with his emotions neglected. When affection becomes one-sided, marriage becomes endurance, not companionship. The next morning, Bhadman's wife sits on the couch, dressed and ready to leave, her body language clearly showing she's expecting someone. While she's still grumbling on the couch, a knock sounds at the door, and her mood shifts instantly. She jumps up with excitement and rushes to open it. She opens the door, joy radiating from her face, as she warmly welcomes her friend with a hug before they both settle on the couch. She had invited her friend for a peculiar task, one her friend has no idea about yet. She goes on to tell her friend that she wants her to stay at her house with her husband for a few days as a helper, while she plans to spend more time with her ex. Bhadman's wife believes she's too beautiful to be faithful to one man, a belief that drove her to continue her sexual affair with her ex even after marriage. She had planned a weekend getaway with her ex-boyfriend, and realizing she couldn't leave without someone to cook and clean for her husband, she decided to ask her friend for the favor. Her friend feels uneasy and unhappy about the arrangement, openly expressing her discomfort at the idea of staying with another woman's husband simply because his wife wants the freedom to cheat. She also confides her fear that the husband, being starved of affection, might try to make advances toward her. But Bhadman's wife arrogantly flaunts her body, insisting that her husband could never desire someone she considers beneath her. The moment you start believing you're too special to be replaced, life finds a way to humble you. Bhadman walks into the living room unexpectedly, and his wife quickly stands to introduce her friend as the new help who will be taking care of him while she's away. Prior to that moment, she hadn't told her husband about the trip, fearing that discussing it might give him the chance to question or stop her from traveling. Bhadman stands quietly, watching his wife put on an act as if their marriage is perfect, before she walks out. Without saying a word, he stands there, staring blankly at his wife's friend, wondering how he failed to notice all the red flags before marrying his wife. He then slowly walks into the bedroom, leaving his wife's friend in an easy silence, doubting whether she made the right choice by agreeing to stay. Sometimes the silence of a good man speaks louder than the noise of a guilty heart. That same day, Smart relaxes on his bed, filled with excitement as he awaits the visit of his ex-girlfriend, who happens to be Bhadman's wife. The same woman who constantly claimed to be too busy and exhausted for intimacy with her husband is now thrilled and eager to jump into Smart's bed for that very same act. Nothing cuts deeper than watching the person who denies you affection give that same passion freely to someone else. The next day, Bhadman enters the living room to find his wife's friend seated on the couch. His presence makes the woman retreat back into herself, yet surprisingly, Bhadman greets her and apologizes for his behavior toward her when she first arrived. He explains to her that his anger and frustration were never directed at her, but at his wife, admitting that she didn't deserve to be treated as an outlet for his misplaced aggression. The lady accepts his apology, and just as he's about to walk away, she stands and gently stops him, asking if he wouldn't mind sharing his struggles with her. Bhadman immediately declines the offer, but the lady remains persistent, gently insisting that he open up and share his story with her. They both sit down, and without hesitation, Bhadman begins to open up to her about his struggles with his wife. He confides in the lady that after marrying her friend, she became a completely different person, nothing like the loving woman he had known while they were dating. Before their marriage, his wife never failed to meet his needs as a man. She cared for him intimately and always made sure his meals were well prepared. He confides in the lady that for over 3 months, he hasn't been intimate with his wife, as she's always either too busy with work or too exhausted afterward. The lady is left speechless by his revelation, deeply surprised because she's aware that Bhadman's wife has been sleeping with other men throughout her marriage. The cruelest betrayal is when the one who denies you love gives it freely to everyone else. The lady is overcome with remorse by Bhadman's revelations and promises to speak to his wife on his behalf, hoping to bring positive change to their home. It takes more than courage for a man to speak openly about the struggles in his marriage, knowing how society might judge him. Bhadman shakes off the weight of his story and teasingly apologizes to the lady for filling her ears with his troubles, expressing gratitude for her patience in listening. He then tells the lady he needs to rest inside and offers another apology as he makes his way out. The pain of being cheated on isn't just in the body of the act, but in the mind that wonders why love wasn't enough. That same day, Bhadman sits on the bed, scrolling through his phone while taking a brief rest. The lady enters with a plate of food to serve him, while he sits there, staring awkwardly. He hadn't asked the lady to make him food and feels unsure why she would offer such a kind gesture. He accepts the food from her with a bright smile, but as she sits beside him, he sets the plate aside to spend a little time with her. Out of curiosity, he asks the lady whether she prepared the meal for him because he had complained about being neglected by his wife or purely out of goodwill. The lady insists the meal wasn't made out of sympathy, but to remind him that he is seen and valued, even when his wife chooses to ignore him. Kindness shown without expectation is the rarest form of love and often the most meaningful. This single act of kindness captures Bhadman's attention and affection, as he has been yearning for love all along. Caught in the moment of his admiration, he slowly leans forward toward the lady, unable to resist, and presses a kiss on her. Two days later, what began as a spontaneous kiss has grown into a full-blown affair between them. Bhadman's wife had returned unexpectedly and discovered her husband in bed with the friend who was meant to care for him. She harshly slaps them awake, ranting and accusing them both of betrayal, unaware that her friend had already informed her husband about her own affairs. In her anger, she claims that her friend only agreed to take care of her husband because of secret feelings for him, and she immediately orders her to leave the house. Surprisingly to her, Bhadman stops the lady from leaving and openly accuses his wife of being unfaithful since the day they got married. His wife tries to deny it, but when he mentions her ex-boyfriend's name, she's struck with the shocking realization that her betrayal has been exposed. She quickly falls to her knees, pleading with her husband for forgiveness and promising never to return to such a life. To her utter shock, her husband immediately pushes her away and orders her to leave his house. This is a lesson to everyone. Loyalty is the foundation of marriage. Betrayal and infidelity can destroy trust and love, no matter how strong the relationship seemed. Kindness and attention are powerful. Genuine care, even from unexpected sources, can heal emotional neglect and create deep connections. True character shows itself over time, not just in the days of courtship. Please share this video and comment where you are watching from.